All right, welcome everybody to our Flip PD event. We are going to be leveraging Flip with Canvas and Schoology. So let me welcome Sonia to the screen as well. So first off, welcome everybody. My name is Andy Knieven. I'm an educator innovation lead, part of the Flip team, and I'll introduce Sonia over here.
Hi, I'm Sonia, and I'm a part of the Flip product team. Thank you for being here with us.
Oh, yeah, this is going to be so great. So, yeah, of course, in the chat, of course, as we are getting started, please, share where you're tuning in from and, what school district you are joining in from as well. But Sonny will be in the chat to capture all that feedback, to, document any questions, and I'll support as I see those comments as well. But yeah, let's go ahead and dive right in. So, as we are getting started in here, again, like I said, please share where are you tuning in from, share your school district. I'd love to give you a shout out as well. So, hey, Sergio, wonderful. Glad to see you joining in from Mexico. And Sharon, oh my gosh. So we have some great friends. Of course, keep adding those in as we are going to continue on. But of course, as we are also joining in, or as you join in, share what LMS that you are using. We'd love to be able to, kind of tailor this as much to what LMS that you use, whether it's Canvas or Schoology, but we're definitely going to show how you can connect those with Flip. So as we dive in, I want to simply say that you are part of the Flip community. And of course, as we get started, I want to share and say, our mission is to make learning fun and empowering for everyone, and you are part of that community. So thank you so much for joining in. And as you are, of course, feel encouraged, feel empowered to be an active participant. Take those screenshots, share those aha moments with us on social. We love to connect with you. At Microsoft Flip is the Flip account, the whole team there. But connect with Sonia, DLC Sonia, and then mine is at Mr. Coach K15. And search some really great ideas of using Flip in the classroom across all different grade levels using the hashtag Flip for All and hashtag Flipsider. We have an amazing community all around the world of educators who share their great ideas using those hashtags as well. So, of course, in the chat, we want to grow, we want to build Flip with you. So in the chat, what feedback, what ideas, suggestions do you have for Flip's integration with Canvas and Schoology? Our team is watching along. They are taking note about what it is that you would love to see within these integrations. And as we continue on saying, the team is watching on the backside, off camera. I would love to, and I enjoy being that bridge, that gap, filling the gap between the classrooms and the team here at Microsoft to say thank you. Thank you so much for what you do every day for your classroom community, for your school community, and your own personal self. So thank you for what you do every single day. And at the end of today, we'd love to hear your feedback of, I hope that you walk away with some strongly agree feelings of I'm ready to use Flip and this LMS, ready to, create content, creating an assignment for that blended learning experience. So of course, we'd love to hear that feedback, following that hashtag or that QR that's on the screen, or following that address, aka.ms/flippd feedback. And after completing that survey, it's really short and sweet. I'd love to also send you a quick certificate of completion, sharing just simply an appreciation for you joining in today, earning those continuing ed credits, those professional growth points. And, we'd love to see it out there on social. So please, celebrate your own success. Now, as we do continue on, our team is here to support you. There are some great resources all along the way, and we've got you covered. And I'm going to dive first into Schoology, and then I'll transition over to talking about Canvas. But with Schoology, we have you covered. There are some great supports, tips, and best practices at help.flip.com. And following that QR that's on the screen will take you straight to our support page for Schoology. So I'm actually just going to jump over to, well, actually, let me, as we get started on this as well, I'm going to don't get ahead of myself. As we talk about Schoology, of course, we've got you covered for Canvas as well. And so following that QR will take you to the resources for Canvas. And there are some great videos that are on those Canvas pages here as well on YouTube if you're watching streaming on YouTube right now. And so, of course, follow along, catch those, and share those with your school and community. So, as we dive over into a more of a live demonstration, because this is actually where I would love to be able to and just walk through the process. And I want to give a shout out to say, hey, Marwa and Amar, and oh my gosh, we have some great friends that are all joining in from all around the world. And as you are, please share what LMS it is that you are using in your classroom. All right, so I'm on the right page now. So let me jump over and let's talk about making that integration with Schoology. So I am going to go full screen here. And Jennifer here for Canvas. Excellent. So we'll get to Canvas here in just a moment. So hang tight. We'll be jumping right over to Canvas in just a moment. And let me of course, ask your questions in the chat. So let's go ahead and dive into our Schoology integration. And of course, please make sure you're also signed in on Flip as well. So you're going to want to have a tab that's open along your top bar or the sidebar in Edge that, be signed in on Flip, and you're going to go to your integrations. And then from here, this is where you're going to see so many great connections of you have, Google Classroom, Canvas, but we're going to start with our Schoology one. So at the bottom of that page, you'll see Schoology. So I'm going to just be ready for that when I get to that. However, if I'm a Schoology teacher, I am going to be in my educator page here. Hey, Sharon, awesome. So we are ready for Schoology. You're in perfect timing as we talk about that. Perfect. So in your Schoology course, you are going to be, first off, if your Schoology admin has not made that connection for the entire school district to be able to join all at once. And actually, let me bring my other camera up here so that I can feel like I'm part of the conversation. There we go. Perfect. All right. So if your Schoology admin hasn't made the integration for the entire school district or university, please share the resources that we have here at Flip to be able to make that easier for everybody. But as an educator, you can do this yourself. So as I sign in, if I didn't see Flip right here, it's because that Schoology admin hasn't made that whole district or university connection. But I can do this myself by going up to course options, and then I'm going to select external tool providers, and I'm going to add an external tool. Now, all of these steps that I'm saying, so if you're watching this on replay or just joining in now, all of these resources can also be found at help.flip.com. And all these steps can be found here, especially this configuration type and all these details that we're looking at right here. But I would give it my tool name. So if I want to say that this is Flip plus Schoology PD, and this is where I'm going to enter in that consumer key and that shared secret. To find that consumer key and shared secret, this is where I go to Flip. And to repeat where I got to for our integration page, up here at the very top right, we see our profile picture, and we could select integrations. That's going to bring us here. And since we're talking about Schoology, I'm going to create a new one. And so let's call this Flip and Schoology PD. And I'm just going to hit create. So that's going to make our consumer key that we could copy, and it's going to create our shared secret. So within here, I could then come back and I'd paste these in and I'd hit submit. Now, because I already have this integration already set up, I see Flip already here, I'm good to go. But if you hadn't seen Flip already listed, those would be the steps that you would want to take. So let's act like we just created that. So now I'm going to select that Flip logo, that smubble right there, that smiling speech bubble. still sharing, respecting the diverse voices of everyone. And I'm now going to connect Flip with my Schoology course. So I'm going to hit create a course group. And that is exactly what happened. Is it's going to create a Flip group, and it's going to create it's going to create a Flip group within my Flip account. But this now has the title for my Schoology course. So I can close that window, and let's go ahead and now make an assignment. So in doing so, I have my materials. I'm going to select add materials, and we're going to add an external tool. I select external tool. And now in this dropdown, this is where we select Flip as that external tool. This is going to be where we give it the title. So if I want to, that's my consumer key that I was copying over from before. So I'm going to use that Flip and Schoology PD. So we have this here. So I'm going to put that title in. This is going to be where I submit. That is actually my topic name. That is what my students are going to see. This would be the assignment name that you would have your students go to complete a response. And if I selected that, I'm going to see how that is going to generate our topic here, just like we would see it normally in Flip. So let me jump over to our student view. So I have a student account. Oh, that was in our Canvas one. So this is my student one. And I'm going to refresh. And so being in this course, I just refreshed, and I am going to look at my Flip and Schoology PD. So this is the assignment name. And actually, because I am streaming on in our PD event here, I'm going to turn my camera off, and that way I can open up our camera within Schoology. Now, being that this is a in private browser here, make sure that always you allow that camera and microphone to be used. So I'm going to hit allow, and there we go. So I have now created this embedded space of Flip in Schoology, and all of those great camera features and functions and effects can be leveraged and used here to empower your students to share their learning, to share their voice, and to answer whatever that prompt is that you had them do in Schoology. Now, of course, I always love sharing those 3 dots up top and near that video, so that like words on shirt, if you're doing a book review or demonstrating some math, all of those things would be seen, in the correct way on screen as well. But also, like the teleprompter, we could add in our text that we would want to have in here and say, this is what I want to share. So I could have this exactly what I want. I did all my research. I could paste this in. And so when I go to do a response, I could, let's have a little fun. Let's add in a lens. And there's some great lenses in here. If I wanted to do, breaking news story, telling like the events about what's going on in class, or if I wanted to, let's be a little silly here. I could do, SketchUp. I could be a pencil. That's all good. All right. So if I wanted to go through and do a response, I could have my countdown. My teleprompter is going to scroll across the screen. And so this is what I'm going to share. This is what happened in class. I'm telling all about the great things I've learned or can demonstrate right here in Flip. So let's go ahead and stop. And so let's go ahead and I can hit next. My teleprompter is going to scroll. There we go. So we can preview this. If I wanted to split, I could trim this however I wanted to. I could even add music. This is a really great, additional space. Maybe I want to add some sound effects. It's a great day already. So let's add some celebration. And my teleprompter is going to scroll. Here's some celebration in the background. Anyway, so I'm going to hit next. And what's great here, and this is what's really special about our integrations within the LMS of Schoology, but then also we'll get to Canvas as well, is saying this eases the step for your students not having to need to sign in to another space. Everything is already signed in with that student account. So the student clicked it, they opened up the camera, they've created their response, and now we have this amazing, demonstration of understanding. We can hear from our students. And of course, we could, grade this however you so would in your own, manner for your grade level on your course. So of course, this is just the start for how you can leverage and make that connection with Flip into Schoology. And coming back, looking at the chat here, please, yeah, as we are going through everything, please, share those aha moments, share any questions that you may have in the chat with us. And with that being said, I'm gonna, dive over into our Canvas integration, side of things. So let's go ahead and let me switch tabs on our space there. And so as we do get started here, of course, in the chat, if you have questions, I want to be able to support you best, make this as meaningful as possible. But with that said, let's dive over into our Canvas integration that we have. All right, so let's check out our Canvas integration, and all of these resources can be found at help.flip.com. And there's my videos that are there, but all the steps that you would need to take as well. Now, for our Canvas integration, just like our Schoology one that I talked about, your Canvas admin, this is new this year. I know that as a Canvas user for many years, 2014, I think, is when I started using Canvas. So, and using Flip or Flipgrid at the time in 2017, I've been using these two for years. So this is a really special thing to say that with the Canvas administrator, they can now make this integration across their entire school district or across the entire university all in one click. And so right now, I am signed in as the Canvas admin. So let me, show that I'm in the admin space. I'm going to, Microsoft Education. I have my whole university here. I would go to settings, and then I will go to apps. And what's nice about this is right now, since I've already installed this, I'm not going to re-add it, but making this integration for your entire school district or university, you as the Canvas admin, you can still use your personal account. So I would go to my Flip page here. I would go to Canvas, and we're going to have this be Flip plus Canvas LMS PD. And so now I'm going to create a new integration here. Again, we have our consumer key, and then we have our shared secret. And we can now copy these and paste them right into our if we were to add the app. Now, since it's already installed, so if I did add that, I would just simply paste this into these two fields. To do as a Canvas admin, you're not going to get added to every course. You're not going to get notifications for every response, because you want everybody to be able to share their learning, share their voice on Flip, and easily through the integration. But as a Canvas admin, you're not going to get bombarded with all these notifications across your notification space in Flip or in Canvas. No worries there. So we already made that integration. So let me actually change accounts into our teacher one that I have here. And in doing so, I'm going to show the steps to be able to make that assignment. And let me refresh here. So let me log out. Oh, there we go. I'm already signed in to our teacher, my teacher one here. So my Flip in Canvas PD. So we have our integration. Like I said, I've used Flip and Canvas for many years. And this is actually my homepage that I used. And so you could embed Flip videos in pages using that shared embed code that you can have there. But let's talk about making that integration yourself if you needed to. And so maybe your Canvas admin hasn't made that integration. You can do this too. Simply, again, by going to settings in your course, going to apps, and then you could search for Flip, and you would simply add that integration, just like I showed for the admin side. But as a teacher, you have to do that for every course individually. With the Canvas admin, they do it once, and it's ready for the entire district or university. So since I already have it installed, I don't need to make a new one. So I'm going to go to my course here and let's make an assignment. Let's have something that we can demonstrate again right here in Canvas. So I'm going to go to my assignments, or however you do create an assignment, whether you do it in the calendar, you do it in a module, you're still going to end up having to select adding in an assignment here. Now, and so doing so, we're going to give it a name. So let's actually have a little bit more, let's do this as simply a Canvas and Flip PD. And when I do this, I'm going to select in this drop-down field, and we're going to choose external tool. Choosing external tool, we select find, and then we select flip. So now I hit select, and I've chosen flip as that assignment process, or what they're going to use to submit. Now I could add in any additional details in here. So maybe I want to, say that recite some amazing poetry. And so I'm going to have this be here. I could assign this to everyone. I could give it a due date that I want to have. So let's say that this is going to be due today. And I can hit save and publish. So now doing so, this is going to create, again, the connection with Flip, with my account as a teacher, because as a teacher, you do want to be signed in to Flip, and you also then are going to be signed in to Canvas. This is going to prompt you to say you're going to create a group for your Canvas course. Now, what's really special here is that this is going to give it the course name for what you have already here in Canvas. And then the assignment name is going to be your topic. And so we essentially just made that. I mean, like that, snap. We just made a group and a topic right there in Canvas. And what's really special here about the safety, privacy, security is that only those in your course can access this group and access this topic. So you'll notice possibly that if I were to, let me go back to my entire Flip, like my Flip account here, is that this is that course or that group that I just created, Flip plus Canvas PD. You'll notice that the share, that Sharo, is grayed out. I cannot select it, and that's because it is a Canvas integrated group in Flip. So for some people, they overlook that this is a Canvas integration. That's why that's grayed out. No worries, nothing's broken. It's simply to keep it nice, safe, and secure. So we've made our assignment here. If I did want to go in here and edit anything, I absolutely could. But let me even take it one more step before I submit, or I create a submission here, because I want to be mindful of our time. We're really, we have about 5 minutes, which is perfect. So I could add in a rubric. I know many educators in Canvas, they love that rubric, that speed grader that's there. So I could add a rubric right here, right there in Canvas. Let's use this one, a speech rubric, because we're going to do some poetry. I've added that in here and we're good to go. So let me go to my student account. And as a student, I'm going to go to my course, and I'm going to notice that I have an assignment here that is due today. I could see that within my to-do space. I might find that on my calendar. I could go to assignments, but let's go ahead and go to our assignment here. And again, I'm going to turn my camera off in our event so that I can do a response here in Flip. So as I do this, it's going to ask and prompt to say, do you want to allow that camera and microphone? Of course you do. You want to let your students see and hear themselves. And so all those great features and effects like we just talked about can be still used, mirroring that video. If I wanted to use that teleprompter, I could. And for this one, let's use a backdrop in this space. Or actually, let's just have some fun and do a board. Just bring over some graph paper. Maybe I want to paste in some, a demonstration of something. I know that we talked about this being reciting some poetry, but maybe I want to, have, 2x plus 3, we're changing gears altogether, equals 15. All right, and maybe I need some Microsoft Math Solver to help me solve this one. But anyway, so let's go ahead and do a quick response. And I can respond here and say, I would first subtract 3 from this side, and then I would, so we could, go through all of our steps, and we get, 2x equals, that would be 12, and then we divide by 2, and so we end up with a final answer of 6. And so x equals 6. So we could show all these steps here. Great stuff. And say, I would first subtract 3 from this side, and then go ahead and submit this. Again, we could edit that cover, take a new selfie if I wanted to, and let's do that. Smile. Hopefully you smiled in the call as well. And hey, Mira, I see it from Egypt there. Wonderful to see everybody joining in. Hey, Mohammed, glad to have you join in as well. This is wonderful. So anyways, let's go back to our PD event here, showing our flip Canvas side. So from the educator view, if I, refresh, I'm going to see that I have a response, because what's really powerful about this in Canvas is we have that speed grader capability where I want to, let me bring myself back up in here. There we go. So within Canvas, we have speed grader. So if I wanted to go in here, I wanted to preview this and say, I can watch. I would first, and I could score this within our space here. If I wanted to adjust this space here, I could say, oh, you have great content, the organization. Actually, you're not talking about what the assignment was. It's great language. The delivery was fun. It's great. Ethics, full marks again. So we can hit submit. And so now I get my score. If I wanted to, have a grade in this way, to submit it like this. And it's as easy like that. So we are able to review our responses right here in SpeedGrader using Flip to let students demonstrate their knowledge and mastery. Just another great space. If I had a whole class of students, I could click this drop down and select the next section. That would be my different class periods or different sections that I would have for that course. I could select the different name. I'd see who I had already graded or not. And of course, I can see all of this within our grades space as well. So again, another great integration, piece that we have, and I love sharing for Flip and within, both Schoology and with Canvas. So as I'm looking through, I'm going to, double check I'm not missing anything in our comments here. If you have any questions, please ask them in the chat. I don't want to miss anything along the way here. But yeah, this has been a really great, time together. And of course, please share any feedback that you may have, whether you are using Canvas or whether you're using Schoology. I want to, honor and, share those suggestions that you may have with, us as a team. Let me, switch my camera back so I'm looking at you this way. Perfect. All right. So this is so great to, have this special time together. And, of course, yeah, if you have any feedback for us as a team, please share that here in the chat, however you're watching with us. But anytime, share those great ideas. If you have ideas that you want to improve for Flip, simply select that question mark that's up there at the top of the web page and select improve Flip and send us that. We want to build Flip with you. Our team loves seeing those ideas, those suggestions, because every feature that you see in Flip is educator driven. We want to build Flip with you to make it as meaningful and empowering, for you and your students. And of course, as I hope that you walk away with some aha moments, some ready to go uses, so that you can take and use Flip in your LMS, whether it was Schoology or it's with Canvas. So please, share that feedback, and I'd love to send you some, a certificate of completion, joining in, earning those continuing ed credits with us today. And I really appreciate it. Oh, thank you, William. This is wonderful to hear. It's great to have a wonderful community like you. Thank you, Jennifer. And oh my gosh, so from Tanisha, this is We have an amazing community of educators all around the world. And as we talk about all of our different events, I definitely want to invite you to please join in with our next events that we do have. And those can be found at at or at aka.ms/flip events. There's some really great ones coming up. If you're joining in live right now, if you're watching this on demand, check those dates. But we have some great ones, with Dylan Dreyer, great STEM PD event, but even joining in as we talk about Microsoft Math Solver and some really other great ones. So definitely scroll through the page, check it out. We'd love to connect with you and, share. But as we do finish up, I know that our time for this webinar, this PD event, is nearing an end, but I am simply excited to catch you now on the flip side and see everything that you're doing to empower your students and connect your learning communities together. So thank you so much for joining in today. It means so much, and have a wonderful day. Please let us know if you have any questions.